Now you know.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is the 23rd day of September 2019. So this is welcome to fall, y'all. So first the roll call. Ms. Goldman, please.
Yes, Mayor Curley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Here.
Alderperson Barry.
Here.
Blackwell. Here. Dunn. Here. Noes.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
7 present.
Okay, the chair detects a quorum, so we will proceed. Thanks everyone for being here. Very pleased that Reverend Marty Nutter is with us this evening. Ask that Reverend Nutter step to the podium and offer our invocation. Ask everyone to please stand and remain standing while he leads us in the pledge as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Oh, Lord God, we give thanks to you as we gather this night. We ask that you would guide our decisions, that they would be good decisions and be to your honor and glory. We thank you for the privilege that we have to serve you and to serve this great community. We especially thank you, Lord, this night for Colonel Garrity, Colonel and Mrs. Garrity, as they are here with us. We thank you for sending them to us. We ask your blessings upon them in our communities and at AEDC. Bless us, hear our prayers, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Nutter. So you see that we have a new individual joined us this evening. We're very pleased to welcome Ms. Meti Regaha. Hopefully I got that sort of close. But she is wait until you hear some of this resume. She's a very, very impressive young lady. Then I'm anxious for you to hear from her directly some things as well. She's a senior at Tullahoma High School. She has taken honors geometry, AP English language, composition, AP biology, honors Spanish. She has participated. She's a member of HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America. She's been invited to attend the Congress of Future Medical Leaders. She is now doing a course by Dr. Amin on the brain. She's also doing advanced science writing research through 2 Nobel laureates. She's the pianist for the high school choir. She's an alderman in the Mayor's Youth Council. She participated in the Scholars Bowl last year, the Quiz Bowl. She's a member of the National Honor Society. She's the captain of the debate team. She plays the violin in the University of the South Symphony Orchestra. I've been doing this a long time. I don't know that I've read anybody's quite as impressive as this one. It just goes on. She takes piano lessons. She's making a CD of her singing. She plays the piano for different churches. She works with a group of children at a church near her home. She's a lifeguard. She has been to India on a mission trip. So very, very impressive young lady. So Meti, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, right now, as you heard, I'm working on singing, and I'm working with these group of young people, and it's really interesting to see how it can change them. And the debate team is something that me and like 2 other students have started this year at our school, and so it's getting hard to get it up to the front, but it's really been fun, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah. What about your college plans?
I'm still looking. I'm applying right now. My top choice would be Brown or Vanderbilt, but I'm also looking at Southern Adventist University. Hopefully to do a bio major and become a physician like my father.
Very nice. Very impressive. Yeah. So we're glad you're here. Meti, if you would stand there at your desk, and we have a certificate for you recognizing you as an honorary alderman tonight. Meti, thank you for being with us tonight. So in just a few minutes, I'll call on you once again for any activities that you'd like to report on at the high school. Okay. So, we're also very pleased to host this evening Colonel Garrity from the new commander at AEDC. And if I could find, he has an equally impressive resume, as you can imagine. So, Colonel Garrity served as an F-15E pilot in Operations Northern Watch enduring freedom and Iraqi freedom. He's an F-15, F-16 test pilot. He also served as a Secretary of Defense Corporate Fellow at Space Exploration Technologies, SpaceX, in Hawthorne. Prior to assuming the commander position at AEDC, he was the commander of the 645th Aeronautical Systems Group at Wright-Patterson. He's earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology, a Master of Science in Genetics. Here's one of the things I wanted to call your attention. He has, if I'm reading this right, 1,750 flight hours and 290 combat hours. Is that correct? Wow.
Yes.
He has flown numerous aircraft. There's a whole list of them, looks like probably 20 of them, but one that caught my attention, and maybe you can talk about for just a minute, is that you've flown the Goodyear blimp. So I don't mean to take away anything else that you've accomplished. Please understand that, sir. But that got my attention, and so we're very, very pleased to host a reception for you this evening. We all understand that AEDC is the economic engine that makes so many good things happen in Tullahoma and our region, and we look forward to the outstanding leadership that we've always enjoyed at AEDC and look forward to your continued leadership as well. So we'd love to hear your words. You're welcome to step to the podium, and welcome again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Curley. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for hosting me and for hosting Nora. And I want to thank the whole community really for the really generous welcome that we've had here in Tullahoma. We moved here in June, so we've only been here a little over 3 months, but just found out tonight I'm not the new guy anymore because Jonathan here moved here in July, he tells me. But we shared stories that we were receiving the same warm Tullahoma welcome, and we really appreciate it. Nora has had the pleasure of getting to spend a lot more time in the town than I have. I've been out and about on the road visiting AEDC all over the USA for the past few weeks and months. I've been spending a lot of time on the road. I don't know how much you know about how much AEDC has grown in the past few years, but it's kept me on the road an awful lot. From California to Maryland, we have a number of different sites where AEDC operates. But right here at Arnold Air Force Base is really where the meat of the mission gets done. And Mayor Curley was hoping I had some good news to share about AEDC. There's no new breaking news or anything to share with you, but I can tell you that what the National Defense Strategy is going to demand out of the folks who work here is tremendous. With the 2018 National Defense Strategy that Secretary Mattis signed out just before he departed, it really centers on the work that AEDC is expert at, and I think we're going to see, if Congress puts their money where the defense strategy demands that it be put, we're going to see a tremendous resurgence of the mission here at Arnold. And it's honestly, it's things that we were excellent at decades ago that are coming back. Resurgence of some of the tests and things that were very important in the 90s are coming back to fruition with this idea of major power competition that's important in the National Defense Strategy. But that's just what's going on at work. As you said, AEDC is an important economic engine. Nora and I are happy to contribute to that as best we can. We're out and about. We love shopping at these local shops that you all have set up. I was talking to the publisher and the editor of the paper. I'm looking forward to signing up for a new subscription here shortly. I love the partnership we have with the first responders in the community as well here. It's an excellent partnership. It seems to be pretty seamless for a fairly small Air Force institution embedded within a couple of different counties, and the partnerships that we have with first responders to be able to take care of things that may transit those seems really seamless, and that's something I'm pretty proud of as well, and something we'll definitely look to keep up and improve on, just like we try to improve on anything that we can. But I'm sure I'm forgetting some important things to mention in front of this community, but I don't want to take up too much time. It's really a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you for coming out, and thanks again for hosting us.
Very good, thank you. So we don't have too many rules, but there were two names called that when your name is called, you have an opportunity to defend yourself. So Mrs. Garrity, would you like to say anything?
I'll support and back my husband in all that he said. Thank you. And I really appreciate this wonderful town and all that it has to offer.
That's very nice of you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. So Jonathan is the Assistant CEO at Horton Regional, Tenova Healthcare Horton. Your name was called as well. Anything that you'd like to say?
No, tonight's about the sir and welcome him. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here. So our editor, Dwayne Sherrill, is here. I hope you have a subscription pad with you, because Colonel Garrity offered to subscribe to the news. So
we've already exchanged numbers.
okay. So he's going to follow you out the door in a minute, and he'll get you to sign on the line. So Colonel Garrity, we appreciate your service to our country, and we appreciate the leadership that you bring to AEDC. We look forward to big things, continued big things from AEDC.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is Public Power Week, and we have Public Power. Would you like to present this?
No, you go right ahead.
I mean, you're on, yeah, you should.
You're the mayor.
I know that.
Do it.
But there's some pretty big words in here, and I was okay. Mr. Skelton, if you don't mind, step to the podium, and we'll read this and present it to you. So Mr. Skelton, as everyone knows, or should know, is the president of Tullahoma Utilities Authority. And Chris Barstead is here, also representing TUA as well.
And also Mike Stanton, our new board member.
Oh, that's right.
And
He's still here.
Alderman Blanks.
I know. Okay. I didn't forget about Mr. Stanton, though. But the food was outside, and I didn't expect him to still be in here. So, whereas we, the citizens of Tullahoma, place high value on local control over community services and therefore have chosen to operate a community-owned, locally owned, not-for-profit electric utility, and whereas consumers and owners of our electric utility have a direct say in utility operations and policies, and whereas TUA provides our homes, businesses, farms, social service, and local government agencies with reliable, efficient, and cost-effective electricity, employing sound business practices designed to ensure the best possible service at non-for-profit rates. And whereas TUA is a valuable community asset that contributes to the well-being of local citizens through energy efficiency, customer service, environmental protection, economic development, and safety awareness. Now therefore be it resolved that TUA will continue to work to bring lower cost, safe, reliable electricity and broadband services to community homes and businesses, just as it has since 1947, the year when the utility was created to serve all the citizens of Tullahoma. And be it further resolved that the week of October 6th through 12th be designated the 33rd Annual Public Power Week to recognize TUA for its contributions to the community and to educate consumers, owners, policymakers, and employees on the benefits of public power. Be it further resolved, the annual public celebration, am I taking your thunder when I read this? The public celebration will be held on Tuesday, October 1st, 3 to 5 p.m. at the TUA grounds. Be it further resolved that our community joins hands with more than 2,000 other public power systems in the United States in the celebration of public power, which is best for consumers, business, the community, and the nation. So, Mr. Skelton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Our celebration will be on Tuesday, October the 1st. It is from 3 to 5:30, and we'll have displays set up, bucket truck rides, free food, come out and spend the afternoon, learn more about your local power system. As you said, we're one of 2,000 municipal power systems in the United States. There are 60 in the state of Tennessee. And if you look at the 2,000 nationwide, Tullahoma is a relatively small community, but we would be within the top 150 of those 2,000. So there's lots of really, really small communities. And then you have big communities like Jacksonville, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, Nashville, Memphis. They all have their own municipal power system. But the largest in the United States is Los Angeles. Los Angeles has their own municipal power system. But we appreciate our relationship with the city. We appreciate being able to provide services to the people in our community.
Yeah. We appreciate you and the work that the men and women at TUA do. We really sincerely do. Can I change subject for just a second?
Certainly.
Okay. So I heard last week that the Tullahoma Duck River water, Tullahoma water, was recognized and as the very best in Kentucky and Tennessee, I believe, for the 3rd year. Is that correct?
They did. They won numerous times. Dr. Blanks would be able to tell you more specifically how many years in a row, but they won the People's Choice Award, which is where everyone who attended the Water Professionals Conference could sample different waters from different systems, and they won overwhelmingly the top water award.
Yeah. Very, very nice. Yeah, very impressive. Okay, Dr. Blanks and Mr. Stanton, if you would join me with Mr. Skelton. Got it. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for comments from citizens. Anyone in the audience have anything to address the board that's not later on the agenda? Yes, sir.
The board's part, I'm not as good as I used to be.
Yeah, neither am I. Yeah. So if you would state your name and address for the record, please, sir.
My name is Roland Balke. I'm a resident of the city of Tullahoma. Pleased to be so.
Good.
I am a veteran of the United States Army, serving from 1981 to 86. I am a member of the National Rifle Association, the Gun Owners of America. I am a general class ham radio operator and a registered Republican. I'm here to address a thing that's happened about 3 weeks ago, 2,000 miles away. And I'm hoping the city of Tullahoma will help me address it. On the 3rd of September of this year, the city and county of San Francisco, California, decided in a declaration to declare the National Rifle Association a domestic terrorist organization. As a member, I was alarmed. And I would like to think that my new city, I used to live in Las Vegas, this is my new home here, probably my last one, would help me out by rendering a declaration back at them in reverse, to wit, that the National Rifle Association, in the opinion of this board, is not a domestic terrorist organization. The NRA has been around for over 140 years. They've done enormous things. I have a pressy here of what they've done in part. And I'd like to think, as forward as Tullahoma has been in the past, in this small thing, they could be forward again.
Thank you. We'll take your request under advisement. Thank you very much.
Sir, I have my pressies right here.
Okay, good. If you would hand them to Mr. Brooks. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir.
Anyone else in the audience have anything to address the board? Seeing none, we will proceed. We're ready for board reports. Mr. Mathis.
Do not have a report tonight. We have not had any meetings.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Berry.
A couple of things. Since we last met, attended the AOPA fly-in, the cook-in, which was really cool. And that morning worked the tickets. And it was a great event. Held a town hall last Tuesday at CD Stamps. We discussed the numbers are going up and people that attend. Discussed some residents' concerns in a couple different neighborhoods and some of their perceived issues with our responsiveness. We kicked off a Tullahoma 101 series I've been doing with introduction to our city structure and how we're kind of formed. Attendance numbers are growing, so it's encouraging. Next one will be October 1st at D.W. Wilson. Spent some time volunteering at Come to the Table. It's a Danley's restaurant every Tuesday from 5 to 6. It's probably one of the highlights of my week. They serve free hot meals to anybody that wants to come, no questions asked. I think last week they said about 20 children who started lining up about 3:30, and they don't open until 5. So they started opening the doors a little. It gets earlier and earlier every week. Volunteers are always needed. Saturday was Tullahoma Beautification Day. I was out there with the mayor, Ms. Rupa, and several others out there. I also picked up some poison ivy. got into a little got into a little thorn bush, picked up some poison ivy, but it was worth it. That little section of the road is nice and clean now. Haven't had a ton of activity on the commissions and boards that I serve on. Ms. Argraves did provide me with some reading material for our next meeting in October. The Industrial Board, Coffee County Industrial Board, they canceled the meeting for this month. Downtown Council, they did meet while I was in Austin. The steering committee selected Clark Creative out of Georgia for the branding bid that they had out. And we'll use EC Design out of Tullahoma for the printing when it's possible. And because I haven't had a ton going on with the committees, it's allowed me to spend a lot of time out in the community. I've continued some knocking on doors to go meet residents and different businesses, and also to go out and talk to people in person when they call, or you put your number out there, they're going to call. So last week I had about 32, the week since we last met, I've met with 32 different individuals to go out to their business, their residents, and kind of see firsthand the complaints that they have and go out to some of the different properties. So I got a bunch of stuff coming your way. I'll compile that and send it to you. Also want to remind everybody that there's a public interest meeting regarding the construction of the new police station Wednesday at 4 o'clock at Tullahoma High School. It's an opportunity to get engaged and be informed.
Very good. I suspect those, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, and correct me if I'm wrong, but hopefully they're not all complaints.
I call them concerns.
Yeah, concerns. Yeah, observations that people have. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Ms. Blackwell.
Yes.
You've been otherwise busy.
I've been busy.
Since the last meeting.
Went to the Planning Commission meeting last week, and you'll see a bunch of things that we're going to go through tonight on that. Also, the Board of Education meeting, the special called one, which was it just a week ago, where they voted in to have, I call him Coach Hargrove because that's who he was to me back then, as our interim director of schools, and also picked up trash for as long as I could for about 45 minutes out there to feel like a normal human outside of a screaming a baby for a bit on Saturday morning with you guys. So, yeah, that's what's been happening with me.
Very good. Thank you very much. Dr. Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was also in attendance of the AOPA fly-in. I think that was a great success. They had good weather. It was warm. It's been warm, seems like, for the last 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe we had the change in, it was vernal equinox yesterday. I think maybe that will usher in some cooler weather, maybe some showers, because most everybody's yards are a little bit dry. This is Public Power Week. We talked about that a little bit. We are plus 19 for the month of August for sign-ups on Light Tube, so we're inching up. I think in the last 18 months, we only had 1 month that was a net loss. So, if you have questions or concerns, you can always call TUA, and you can talk to somebody that speaks Southern English. So that is important, because sometimes, some people can't understand you if they didn't grow up around here, which we want people from everywhere, but you want them to be able to understand you.
Yeah.
Did I dig a hole too bad? Not too bad.
You've gone pretty quick.
Other than that, I would continue to encourage people to shop Tullahoma, buy it here if you can, because we need your tax dollars. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Dunn.
I went to the AOPA fly-in also, and it was just awesome. It was really cool. So my 5-year-old picked out, I think, 3 different planes that he wanted to buy. We didn't come home with any, but he was excited. And I want to remind everybody that we have a Recycling 101, Composting 101 on Saturday morning at 9:30. And many, many thanks to Andrew Rice, the Rice family. We're going to be at CFC Recycling. So 9:30 CFC Recycling, we'll have some coffee and donuts, and we'll talk recycling and composting, and should be really fun. We'll take a tour of the facility and all that, so hope you'll...
Thank you. Mr. Norris.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Blackwell touched on our Planning Commission meeting. We have some issues on the board, on the agenda tonight that will result of that meeting. I attended the airport board meeting last week. Was immediately after the fly-in that we had, the AOPA fly-in, which, as everyone recognized, as being outstanding. The director for the fly-in, Chris Eads, made the statement on Saturday evening as things were being packaged up and going back to Maryland, that this was the best place he's ever been for a fly-in. It was the best ever of all the places they've been. And he thanked all the people of the city. And then, as a token of that, Mayor, if you would step to the flag, I have a little appreciation award I'd like to present to you as the chief executive for the city. Director Eads was very proud to present this award, appreciation award, in recognition of outstanding support and dedication to the city of Tullahoma. Mayor, this was presented to the city, but you are representative of the city, the most distinguished representative we have.
Well,
so thank you.
Those kind words. That's very nice. Very, very nice. And this, I do accept this on behalf of all the citizens of Tullahoma, and particularly the work that Mrs. Moody, the police chief, the fire chief, Mr. Brooks, and I suspect a lot more than that were involved in that. But the city government folks really stepped up and did a really, really good job.
In that regard, Mayor, Mr. Eads pointed that out, that this was the most involved community effort that he had ever experienced. And you mentioned all those that were representative of the help. So even citizens, even the industry, Jacobs for one, A+ Moving is another, but this number of community businesses that pitched in and supported the AOPA fly-in. And the parting words from Mr. Eads was, "We will be back."
Good. Oh, I heard that. That's great. Yeah. I should have asked you ahead of time, but do you know approximately how many planes and how many visitors?
There are over 650 airplanes, but it was much busier than that because many of those airplanes were making multiple trips. We had a squadron of Swift airplanes that came in on Saturday morning, flying formations. There were 16 of them alone. There's 15 Swifts coming in. That was quite a sight. As far as the number of people, there's over 15,000.
Wow. That's great. I mean, as I moved around the community and moved around, it occurred to me, all of you have been to Music City Center, I'm sure, and they have conventions every week there. And this was a convention I mean, it just so happens ours was outside and involved airplanes, but this was a major convention. And I was really proud of the community and AOPA certainly, and the city government support. It was just outstanding.
Airplanes from as far away as Washington State
Oh.
were there.
Wow.
So it was a national fly-in
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
Tullahoma's on the map for AOPA, you can bet.
yeah, good. I'm pleased to hear that Mr. Eads had a good report. Yeah, very good. That's exciting. Well, Meti, anything that you'd like to add? I'm sorry, Mr. Norris, did you have anything else?
That's it, thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
There's the homecoming football game is this Friday night at the high school, and I invite else to come. And then also the Mayor's Youth Council, we're selling hay bales now. They're $75 each. I have a picture of what the hay bales would look like if you guys would like to see. Please see me if you would like to buy one.
And so what did these fall decorations look like? Do you know?
They're a square hay bale, and they've got a scarecrow, a mum, and then some decoration and a pumpkin. It'd be really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's a good opportunity for the community to sort of dress up a little bit for fall. And I know City Hall buys one, I think, and maybe Parks and Rec buys one. Yeah. Make sure you get some orders before you leave.
I will.
Okay, we're ready for the city attorney's report. Please, sir.
Legal matters are kind of dull and boring, and I know that. So I want to add a little levity to this meeting tonight. First of all, I'd like to commend Ms. Blackwell, a new mother who attended the first annual Lakewood Lake Circle Drive neighborhood picnic this past Sunday. We had about 75 people there, and we had a wonderful time. And we're going to do this every year from now on. I encourage everybody in this town to get their neighborhoods together and do this kind of thing. I think it'll make us all more cohesive, and I think it's get us all to get to know each other better and enjoy that. So thank you a lot for coming, Ms. Blackwell.
Well, if our neighborhood doesn't have one, can we come to yours?
You may. We'll put you on the list for next year. Just bring your favorite dish, Mayor.
I can do that.
Secondly, I suspect that the reason why Tullahoma gets the premier award for the best water is that a little bit of Dickel leaks into that lake from our distillery, because we've been getting it year after year after year. So I hope this continues to happen. Thirdly, y'all may know that Motlow College is having a 50th anniversary celebration this weekend. I have been privileged to be a member of the Board of Trustees of the foundation there for over 40 years. It's been an honor to have done that. I love it. I love that wonderful presence in our community, the employment that it provides for us, and the educational opportunities it provides for all of our people. So I encourage all of you all to come out this weekend. There's going to be an antique car show and a reception and a lot of things that I think you really would enjoy. Then I think this week sometime or in the next few days I've asked Ms. Moody to schedule a litigation meeting. We have some dull and boring kind of things we need to talk about. And one piece of good news, I think I may have mentioned before, that we have a property owner in Tullahoma that owns a large building in downtown Tullahoma that's willing to donate it to the city. And we're now in negotiations with that property owner for a donation. We're going to do diligence and have it checked out in terms of its usefulness, firstly. Secondly, its condition to determine what kinds of repairs need to be made to it. And hopefully within the next meeting or so, we'll be able to present a resolution to the board if it appears that it's something that we want to accept. Do you have any questions?
Seeing none, thank you. Mrs. Moody.
I want to draw your attention to one item on the consent agenda tonight, and that is accepting a donation of office furniture. This is office furniture that Dan and Fran Markham and some business partners of theirs acquired. I believe they purchased a building that formerly was a call center and had the furniture for some time, and I've taken a look at it multiple times, and it's cubicles and filing cabinets and trash cans and all this kind of miscellaneous office items, some of which I think we could use. Some of it we may not be able to use. And earlier today, the Markhams reached out and after talking to their business partners asked that rather than simply approving the list of items as surplus, which means that we could sell those items if we don't find a use for them within our city departments, they asked that you consider, and I think you would have to include this in your motion, so that's why I'm bringing this up, that we consider donating the items to area nonprofits first before we would sell them for surplus. And I think that's a fair and reasonable request. The other thing is the value. So the value sheet that's provided to you on page 53 shows the value for each year of life expectancy that's left. And that is the number that I provided, but they're actually about 7 years old. So it should be 30, the value should be 30,000.
Good, we can do that. Any other?
That's all.
That is it? Okay. All right, we are ready for the consent agenda. So let me, I don't know if we need to make it more formal than this, but I'll defer to the wishes of the board. But on item number 19-127, when the motion is made to approve the consent agenda as presented, if the motion can include under 19-127 to change the value to $30,000, and if there's anything left over to donate to area nonprofits. Is there an objection to that addition? Everybody okay with that? All right. So we have several consent agenda items. 19-124, minutes of the September 9, 2019 regular meeting. 19-125, accept the financial report. 19-126, accept the mayor's reappointment of Ms. Laurel Stone to the Tullahoma Housing Authority for a 5-year term, expiring October 31st, 2024. Item 19-127, accept the donation of office furniture valued at $30,000 and declare the list of items, and declare to donate to area nonprofits if there's any leftover items. 19-128, reappoint Greg Gressel, Paige Prescott Lashley, and Melissa Sharan to the Tullahoma Arts Council for 3-year terms, expiring August 12th, 2022. 19-129, accept the resignation of Cindy Sneed from the Tullahoma Arts Council and approve the mayor's recommendation of Lee Fogel for appointment to serve the remainder of the unexpired term ending on August 12th, 2021. 19-130, reappoint Bill Comer to the Tullahoma Planning Commission as the Urban Growth Boundary Representative for a 5-year term expiring October 26, 2024. 19-131, announce a vacancy on the Tullahoma Planning Commission for a new 5-year term, replacing Scott Gregory beginning on October 27, 2019 and ending on October 26, 2024. 19-132, approve an amendment to the agreement between Tullahoma Fire Department and Coffee County EMS to eliminate difficulty breathing short of breath from the criteria for which Tullahoma Fire Department provides automatic response. 19-133, set a public hearing for October 14th on first reading of ordinance number 1529, which is an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Tullahoma, Tennessee to rezone 3 parcels addressed as 611 East Monroe Street from C2 General Commercial to I1 Restricted Manufacturing and Warehousing District. And finally, item 19-134, approve a sidewalk extension project on Cedar Lane near the intersection with North Jackson Street in the amount of $12,800, with work to be performed under the existing contract with Rogers Group. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Move to approve.
Second.
Proper motion, Mr. Noes, seconded by Dr. Blanks. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green. Opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, we have no old business. Ms. Moody, anything that you're aware? New old business? New old business? Okay, we've got 2 items under new business. Resolution number 1813, a resolution to authorize an agreement with GTL for urban UDAG grant or loan funds in the amount of $200,000 to support their business expansion in Tullahoma. This is an exciting company, folks. I hope all of you have the opportunity. Mr. Gloria is with us in the audience, and if he would consider, I would appreciate him inviting each of you to see what amazing things they're doing there. So anyway, the floor is open for a motion to approve Resolution 1837. So a motion by Mr. Berry, second by Mr. Noes.
Mathis.
Mathis. Sorry. Noes. Any discussion?
How many jobs do we plan on generating from this?
Mr. Gordon,
expansion?
let me ask you to step to the podium, please, sir.
Hi, thank you for having me here. So what was the question again?
What's the number of jobs that we're planning on adding due to this expansion?
So this initial effort is going to basically retain our current and help us to grow past a big milestone. And this is going to allow us to compete for larger contracts and obtain investment funds that could get us growing onto the order of 100 jobs in the next 5 years, growing to possibly thousands if we're able to actually accomplish our business plan. So we're trying to go into rocket technology and space mining, and it's a really exciting project for us.
Mr. Noes.
Mr. Mark, could you elaborate a bit on that? I know personally about some of your plans, but I think it would be wonderful if you'd share a little more detail about what you anticipate your company doing within the 5-year period.
Right. Okay. So for the last decade, we've been in Tullahoma doing research and development, working with UTSI and working with all the major defense agencies and NASA as well, developing some really breakthrough technologies on how we can drop the cost to go to space by a factor of 10 compared to what everybody's doing now. And we're at a critical point of taking that technology and demonstrating that so we can actually put that into a system. And so the loan that we're asking for will help us get across that threshold and get this technology accepted. We have some major prime contractors who are looking to use our technology in their launch vehicles. And we're also in the process of developing our own launch vehicle to go and deliver payloads to space. And the truly exciting part is that we're actually going to take this and use it to go and do space mining. So we now have the technology to go to the moon and asteroids and mine them and bring back material that will be of value here on Earth that we're able to commercially sell and make a profit. And we're expecting to have some rapid growth as a result of that. We're out actually actively looking for investment funds to bring a lot of work here into Tullahoma and the surrounding areas.
Thank you.
So you're going to go to the moon as your closest area of sphere that you're going to mine. It would be, I'd love to know what the cost is of that, and to, once you get there and mine it and come back, that has to be very costly. You don't have reusable vehicles?
Actually, our vehicles are expendable. So what we're actually doing is we brought the cost down so low that it's not really worthwhile reusing it. So our vehicle will actually go out in space, and unlike SpaceX where they come back and land, we actually just go out and stay out in space. So there's no parts that are dropped into the ocean or anything like that. The cost is fairly high. We're talking many millions of dollars to actually perform a mission, but our business case shows that we were able to achieve high profitability in just a few years. So a single successful mission, it will actually bring back enough material to be profitable and support future missions.
Yeah, but I'm still pegging on that mining stuff. It's a very expensive proposition for you to go mine. What do they have on the moon that we need here, heavy metal, rare earth, whatever, that we don't have access to already?
Right. There's definitely in the long run there's material. NASA is very interested in water. Our first missions, we have some certain things we want to bring back and sell. I can't get into those details here.
It's proprietary.
But we are going to also be supporting NASA exploration missions. NASA is looking to go back to the moon. We're talking with the University of Tennessee about bringing back some core samples from the South Pole. One of the concerns is what are the volatiles, the water or the gases that are frozen in the rocks? Can we bring those back and keep them frozen all the way back so they know what's exactly there, so they can determine how much water and how much other gases are there that they can actually use for scientific missions and to support human bases on the moon.
Good luck.
I'm just glad there's smart people around. Yeah.
Let me ask you another, this is just an
Sure.
aside. Has SpaceX made a profit yet?
I'm not, I don't think they are. They are heavily, spending lots of money trying to buy their way into the industry. And
Well, they're in the industry.
Yeah, the challenge is the launch vehicle business is a very challenging business to be in. It's like taxi drivers. You can make a living as a taxi driver, but at some point Uber comes in and eats your lunch. So we are trying to go beyond that to be the end user of the system. So just like the satellite telecommunications companies provide services from satellites and use the launch vehicles to get there, we're looking to use our launch vehicles as a way to go and do things in space and support a larger business venture.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited. It's cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul, very much for being here.
Okay.
Let's see, we have a motion and a second, correct? So all those in favor of the motion as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. This has been through all the due diligence that Ms. Wilson and Ms. Moody and others require. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you for being with us. Okay, resolution number 1814, a resolution to support a request to members of the legislative delegation to the General Assembly to co-sponsor and support a joint resolution to restore the emergency communication service fee, 911 fee, to the monthly rate of $1.50. So let me get a motion and a second on the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Berry, second by Ms. Doan. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Moody, any other business?
No,
New business? No new old business? All right, so with no objection, we will adjourn and go into the beer board portion of the agenda. We have one item, the consent agenda, the minutes of the September 9th, 2019 beer board meeting. So a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Proper motion by Dr. Blank, seconded by Mr. Perry. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. I forgot to make an announcement, and I do not have Ms. Blackwell's permission.
Some vegan food.
But to the best, I've been around this building since, well, before 1982, a little bit before. Yeah. I have no knowledge, no recollection of any female ever giving birth while in office in Tullahoma. And I'm proud of her for that. And I just wanted to acknowledge that and show and here she is at work.
I have to commend the older lady for her timing.
I agree.
Because it could have happened in the last meeting.
I was ready. I had my Swiss Army knife.
Mayor, if I might have one other item that I will not be able to attend the following meeting. I will be on an agenda that is an annual event for me that will take me out of town.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, one more
Yes,
thing
sir.
as well. 41A.
That's
is-
right.
Yeah, I'm in Highland Room Quanah, so they'd probably shoot me if I didn't say something.
Are you in the club?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So 41A is this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday night, yeah.
A 10th anniversary, so come out and
Yeah.
Where?
get,
Downtown.
be able to miss it.
Okay, no other business. We are adjourned. Have said the farmer's market is still going on, so get you some produce.